Um, I just wanted to share a few things that a couple of people in this, among the other speakers have done already, and have. I'm very happy to be after them. In particular, like Hendrik did a great job about how to prepare a good talk. I'm going to give you advice on how to not prepare, not to insist on the slides too much, because they are only 20% of the talk. Most of your talk should be the delivery. Consider this: I haven't been at the long concert, the great rendering of Appassionata, but I have the sheet music, so I'm okay. You shouldn't be okay with just the sheet music, okay? Think your slides are your sheet music or a play script. It's the rendering that makes the difference, right? You shouldn't not go to a concert on account that you have the sheet music, okay? Or the Broadway whatever, right? So don't forget that your slides are not the talk. I am continuously baffled by folks who say, "Oh, I missed your talk. Can you send me the slides?" Sure, I'll send you the slides, like, approximately nothing of the value of the talk, right? So don't forget that the slides are not the essence of your talk. It's what you contribute outside the slides. So I'm going to talk a few things here real quick. I don't have time to motivate everything. I've said for a long time that the most difficult talks to prepare are the short talks, which is paradoxical. So on to the philosophy of tech talks. There are three levels of nirvana that I have identified. um, First, competence, and second, confidence, and showmanship would be the third. Each has a long ramp leading up to it, and each counts for a very big difference in your effectiveness as a speaker. The competence is the one thing that you cannot fake in any way. The rest you can. When you work on your competence, focus on understanding your material. When we talk about confidence, focus on teaching, and showmanship, focus on doing the performance part of your talk. So the competence, you cannot buy, steal, fake, inherit. You cannot. There's no easy way to get in it, and that's what makes you be there in the pulpit or whatever on the stage. Make sure you have the competence. No competence, no talk. I'm not kidding. Very serious. If you don't have the competence, decline the invite. No matter how highly they think of you, if you don't feel you have the competence, you can't do it. Study related work. Be able to defend in a claim in a court of law every single word you say. Be able to talk to someone whose life is that topic. All right, who sleeps, eats, and showers, and everything is that one topic that you touch in passing. Okay, so you should be able to have a conversation with them. Be always one level above what you talk about. Don't forget that reputation is everything you have as a public speaker, and that's how you build it, with competence. What you teach should be only a small fraction of what you know. Never teach everything you can't teach everything you know. You teach a little what you know, and then the questions are going to take you to the other 80% of things that you know. Confidence. Don't confuse it with self-esteem or arrogance. I'm sure every people every listener here has a good level of self-esteem and is not arrogant. So that's not about confidence. Confidence is how you relate to others. It's You must be convinced that you are in the right relationship with your audience, which means what you say is right, what you say is interesting, what you say is worth saying, and you're right person to stand in front of, in this case, sit, by the way, to stand in front of everybody and talk about it. Truly believe every single goddamn word you say. Truly believe every once word you say. If you don't believe it, don't say it. Okay. I noticed, by the way, there's also a matter of energy, if you wish. People tend to fade out toward the end of the talk. Make sure the second half is better than the first half. Make sure the second half is as strong, at least, as your first half. The best, like musical players, the best actors, the best whatever performance, they're going to give it through the end with belief. They're going to believe everything they do to the last second. So on to showmanship. Each performance must be unique. You shouldn't have one talk that you I'm giving my talk on X, right? No, my memorable talk on that in Oslo was about this stuff, and it was great because I don't know, I fell off the stage or whatever happened, right? So make sure you get into the character. Make sure you think, visualize for weeks before. Mike Tyson had a word. He said, for a month before a fight, I could think of nothing but of hurting that guy. Right? You shouldn't be there to hurt people, but definitely you should be thinking for a long time before the actual performance. You should be thinking about it. You should visualize it. You should get into the character of doing it. By the way, like, I have no idea. I can't fathom how people like were doing chit chat just before this. I could think of nothing. I was drenching sweat. I had to change my shirt. I was drenching sweat for half an hour before this very 10-minute talk, which to you may be nothing, but to me is like, oh my God, I gotta give a talk. I gotta be there. Like totally 100%. I gotta be there, like in the moment, right? So the talk must take something out of you. If you're good for anything after the talk, you're not doing it right. You should be half dead after the talk. If you're dead on the stage, then that was almost good. Okay. If you're dead on the stage after it, that was almost good, almost adequate. Okay. So make sure you can't do like a gully. You can't do it like glibly. You can say, yeah, I give my talk, and then I kind of, I don't know, I scratch my button, and then I was fine, and no, nothing happened. No, I gave my talk, and then I was like dead. Then I was like, I lied on the floor and had no idea what was going on for like 2 days after. Okay. Strategy. Make sure you prepare material. Again, competence. Define a small number of messages. Strong. Take away everything that doesn't support the point. Don't use those fancy slide transition effects, animations, all that crap. That's not good for anybody. Like those transitions that take 1 second each. How fun is it going to be when somebody tells you to go like 50 slides before the current slide, right? Oh, well, let's wait for 50 seconds until each transition does its job, right? The rule of 3, everything should be in threes. 3 parts in a talk, 3 subsections in a part, 3 examples for a principles, three bullets on a slide, that kind of stuff. This slide actually, doesn't do that, but that's fine. Get comfortable. Comfort is everything. So people like to be comfortable, and comfort and discomfort transmit like nothing else in talk. So make sure you're comfortable and fake it. Pretend you're comfortable and you're gonna be comfortable. I know it's weird, but it's just what happens. Like there's any number of like pop science articles about that kind of stuff. Display, that's why I'm emphasizing, display ultimate comfort with every situation, not only in talk, but that's actually a good tip for every. And when I say display, and that's why it's emphasized, I mean fake it. Do you think I'm comfortable right now? I hate it. I would die right now instead of being here, okay? But I gotta display that I'm comfortable and just like, yeah, I can just talk about stuff, no problem. People are empathetic. Newsflash, right? This is not high school. Like people don't like to feel shame, like bad, like the speakers feel I'm gonna be ashamed for saying the wrong things and stuff. But your audience doesn't like to shame you. Like this, again, this is not like a situation like one of those weird like movie situations. No, people want to feel good and they want you to feel good. So then you start with a good position. You're in a position of authority. You're there on the screen. You have the microphone, right? You have the microphone. You have everything it takes. You have good karma. You have credit. You have an attitude from everybody that they want you to succeed, essentially. So don't forget that the situation when you start the talk is rigged in your favor. It works for you. The opening is disproportionately important. People decide within 30 seconds if they like someone, if they want to develop a relationship with them, if they want to do anything that's unspeakable with them, anything is within 30 seconds. Okay, you should have a clear notion of that. There's many experiments about that. People can students predicted their final grade after 30 seconds of video with the professor. Okay, so they could predict with 80% accuracy within 30 seconds. You can't have 2 times 30 seconds. First 30 seconds is everything that matters. So establish contact immediately. Ask people, don't introduce yourself. Your name is on the slide. Don't say, oh, hi, I'm John Doe. No, you're not John Doe. I don't care, right? Establish contact. Ask people a question, tell them a story, say a joke, do something that is going to establish some sort of a human contact with your audience. Make people feel like oh my God, I got to be there because otherwise I'm going to miss all of this great stuff that's happening in this talk, right? I hate it when people close with, and I guess that was it. And kind of just stop there and kind of there's a kind of perdendosi, as they say in Italian, like, this kind of the fade out, right? It's like, oh yeah. No, you gotta close for applause. Like, make sure you practice your closing. And when you close, everybody and their cat is gonna know, oh, there's the closing, so I'm supposed to give applause and all that great things that people do when the talk is done. So practice it. Make sure you are there and you're doing your closing properly. Any post close message can wait. You don't end your closing is not I'll be around for a few more minutes. That's post closing. Your closing is thank you very much, right? And now go shoot me, okay, or do something. That's your closing. Your closing is not, oh, and I guess that's it, and I'll be around. And by the way, my name was John Doe, right? No, don't do that ever. A few tactical issues. Again, I don't have much time to explain things in detail, but please take my word for it. Attire. I'm the last person to give you advice on how to dress yourself. Make sure you're first of all, like Kate gave me that great tip. Make sure your attire has pockets if needed. If you need to have like a microphone and that kind of stuff on you gotta have pockets so you can put the lavalier and that kind of installation in your pocket. So beyond that, make sure that you're congruent with your attire. Your message is congruent with your attire. No matter how you dress, it's going to send some sort of a message. If you don't want a message, dress like Bill Gates, because nobody ever remembers how Bill Gates was dressed. Like not one person in the world. I don't remember. If you shoot me right now, if you tell me your life depends on remembering the color of Bill Gates' sweater in the last talk you saw, or any talk you saw, you would have to kill me because I have no idea. I have no idea. Bill Gates is like a floating head. That's all I remember. It's a floating head. He has absolutely no clothing. And that's because he wears this there's a special factory that makes these grandpa sweaters of Bill Gates that convey absolutely no message. So if you have no message to send, dress like Bill Gates. If you think your old dirty t-shirt with a crappy joke on it and with that kind of stuff, like dirty and kind of with a bad color and that kind of stuff, that if you think that's I don't care about, you don't, it means I actually care about showing you that I don't want to dress nicely for you. That's what the message really is, right? So don't be way too casual, because that's not I'm so casual. It's like actually I'm a slob, right? And don't be a corporate drone with the tightest shirt and the most fitted suit ever invented, because then you're gonna send the wrong message on the other side of the spectrum, right? Make sure you handle your audience. Again, you must assume that at least one person in the audience is gonna have dedicated their life on the one thing that you have to a little knowledge about, right? Make sure you're gonna be able to make a conversation contact with that person, validate, befriend, inspire them. Avoid a few people just hogging the entire interaction. Unfortunately, it does happen. You can never demean a person. That's the worst thing any speaker can do. Just make sure you address any questions they have extra, in excess of what's expected. Take it offline with them. Don't forget you're in a position of authority. Don't exercise it. It's just very easy to implicitly just acknowledge it and use it. Always can for raise hands. I hate it when somebody speaks for an hour and they look at the slides and I have my hand in the back of the room for like half an hour straight. I'm like that guy who's like, and my hand is gonna get tired and stuff. Don't do that. Always can for raise hands. Spray the audience with gaze. Never say good question. Say thanks for the question. Don't put judgment on the goddamn question. Okay. Just say thank you for asking. It's the question. It's very much to be appreciated that somebody asked the question. Don't judge the question. Oh, that was, maybe I'll say, oh, that was a crappy question. No, I didn't like that question. No, that's a terrible question. Never ask that anymore. You're stupid. Okay, don't do that. Okay, always repeat the question for good form. Always, and for many reasons. It's not only for the camera or whatever, and for the microphone, that kind of stuff. Even if they have a microphone, it's good to repeat the question in your own words, so there's a clear contact between people. Mirroring is a thing, very important in psychology. So when you repeat the question in your words back to them, there's going to be a very good acknowledgement of your understanding of that question. Always reply. Don't reply to the person. Don't look them in the eye and kind of like an obsessed guy with an axe. Don't look at the guy and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to answer you right now." Right? No, don't do that. Look at the other half of the audience. Look at the entire audience and reply the question. Respond. So everyone at the end of your talk, everybody in the audience must feel that they have had an opportunity to shine. to say something smart, to understand something great, to ask a question, to make a point, to kind of be in the moment. Everybody must have had the opportunity. Nobody should be just in their seat and say, you know what, I'm bored to death. I'd rather be anywhere else. I'd rather have my root canal done right now instead of being in the stock. Your posture. It's amazing how many people just slouch. Like they slouch more than, like, if you have a normal conversation, you're just gonna stand straight. But when you're talking, the pressure of the tension of the moment is so huge on it that people tend to slouch. Stand straight, speak loudly with dynamics. My wife always says, like, when I'm giving a talk, like from home, she says, you're yelling. Yes, that's how I am. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And make sure you speak loudly, dynamics, clearly, use your enunciation, whatever. Don't My accent is my worst part of me, so don't imitate my accent at all, right? So never talk to the slides, talk to the audience. Don't speak to the slides are never gonna reciprocate. Okay, it's all your audience. Look at it. Don't make me hear you drinking of the water. Please don't make me hear any of that, those gulps and everything. No, I don't want to hear that. Right? Drink while being asked a question. Don't take a pause to drink, and make sure it's not audible in the microphone. Record your rehearsals. You will be amazed at how much stuff is going on. You'll be amazed that when you thought you're giving a talk that was so engaging, so awesome, you're like a boring, like drone there, just whatever. So people think usually the self-perception of energy they give is a lot more than the energy they actually convey. So if I have one tip for you, and the one thing that you should remember is put more energy in your talks. Put more energy in your talks. Give more of you what you have. Nobody is going to enjoy a talk that is given half-hearted. Everybody is going to be, at least is going to be sympathetic, even if they don't like you as a person, because that's impossible to be liked by everybody. Even if they have something with the material, they don't enjoy the material. Even, in any circumstance, people are going to appreciate that the speaker gave everything they got and died on that stage, right? Time management. This brings me to so otherwise speakers make this mistake of not managing their time very properly, and that's a big social contract. Make sure you finish on time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrei.